TNG and Secret proudly present the NWSL Challenge Cup today. North Carolina and Portland face off in the quarterfinals, presented by Budweiser. Josh Toll and the keeper, Jen Cooper, with you. And Jen, North Carolina continue their dominant ways here as we get to the knockout stage for Portland in that 8 seed, looking to upset North Carolina as we get started once again here. Everything on the line today as we take a look at what North Carolina has done throughout this tournament so far.
North Carolina, the only team in the first round to take all 12 points, allowing just 1 goal. And of course, that goal was scored by Portland the first game, so they're on a great stretch without allowing goals. Their offense has been clicking. They got 2 goals against Sky Blue in their final game. Can they continue their dominance as we enter the knockout stage? 7
goals for North Carolina here. For Portland, well, they're still looking for their first win here in this NWSL Challenge Cup. They are going to try to get that here against North Carolina. Just 2 goals scored by the Thorns. So we're going to see if Lindsay Herriman and Christine Sinclair up top can play a bigger role. Also, you look at Morgan Weaver having another impact. And then today, also a big change with Britt Eckerstrom. She's going to be starting in net for Bella Bixby, who was playing tremendous in the first 4 games for the Thorns. But still to come, we have North Carolina and Portland. Knockout stage is beginning today. So it gets even more exciting as it's win or go home. We'll have lineups when we return for you right here on Twitch. Welcome back as we get set for the North Carolina Courage and the Portland Thorns, kicking off today's quarterfinal action. Knockout time has begun here as these 2 teams look for that win to move on as we take a look at the bracket, Jen. And great game to get started, but we have 3 more still.
Hard to believe that it's North Carolina Portland again, but this time loser goes home. They will face the winner of Houston versus Utah. We'll have that game tonight. And then tomorrow's quarterfinals, Reign Chicago, Washington Sky Blue, those winners meet in the other semifinal.
And now we will take a look at the starting 11. We'll start with Paul Riley in his starting 11. Same as we saw last game. No changes for Paul Riley.
And other than goalkeeper, it's the same lineup that faced off against Portland in the opener. So they are in this to win it, right? North Carolina never takes their foot off the pedal. We saw great goals the other night from Crystal Dunn, Samantha Mewis. I'm expecting more tonight.
Crystal Dunn with her first goal in the NWSL Challenge Cup. North Carolina has 7 in the tournament. For head coach Mark Parsons, this is the 11 that he'll roll out tonight, I should say this afternoon, against North Carolina.
Very different for Portland. They've had some injuries, including to Bella Bixby. So Britt Eckerstrom gets her first start for Portland, her first NWSL appearance since last August. Kelly Hubley, Catherine Reynolds getting in their starting lineup in defense, but power trio up top, Christine Sinclair, Tyler Lucy, Morgan Weaver. None of them have scored in the tournament. They better do it today.
We'll see how Christine Sinclair and Lindsay Herriman line up with one another. They had, in Game 3, quite the game against the Washington Spirit where they absolutely dominated the midfield. They are going to have a strong game today going up against the tough midfield of North Carolina. We know about Dabina, we know about Denise O'Sullivan, Sam Mewis, Crystal Dunn. When they control that midfield, it usually means domination for North Carolina.
And maybe they can get a set piece like they did against the Spirit, where you had that great connection between Sinclair, Herriman, beautiful header to put them on the board. Herriman back in this match after being rested for Portland's final group stage game. She could be a difference maker. Sure, they faced off in the first game, but everybody was coming in fresh, right? They'd only scrimmaged themselves. Now each team has 4 games under its belt. Now it's the knockout round with potential for PKs if this is tied at regulation. And it was almost tied at the end of that first match.
That's one of the unique features in this tournament. No extra time, straight to PKs. Could that happen today in this opening game? We will find out as 90 minutes will decide who the winner is or if we will go to penalty kicks. But a great day once again in a rematch from the opening game of the preliminary round. You wonder if Morgan Weaver is going to have that game day where she just breaks out and makes her name well known in the NWSL. Second pick overall. We'll see what she brings to the pitch today.
And she's probably thinking about the NCAA tournament last year. She took her Washington State all the way to the Final Four. First time for that team to get there.
And we are underway. Portland in their white kits, North Carolina in their blue. Mingus plays it forward.
And these teams are not strangers to knockout matches. North Carolina, no one has played more knockout matches when you include International Challenge Cup, which they've participated in twice. And you can even add in Western New York Flash in 2016, which many of these people played for.
9 players from that 2016 Western New York Flash squad. Mewis plays it outside. Daniels not afraid to move forward. We've seen that all tournament, really throughout her career, as Lynn Williams gets in the channel, now pushes it into the area. Williams squares it and nearly found Hamilton. Just out of reach. Well, North Carolina has the fastest goal in this Challenge Cup. They nearly had one 1 minute in if that pass is completed.
What a smooth ball from Jaylene Daniels on the flank, sending it to Lynn Williams, who comes all the way into 3 yards out from the goal. Sends a perfect ball across, but Hamilton is just 1 step off. Kling right there on her shoulder. Williams with 3 goals at the top of the table for the Golden Boot race, but as we saw in the last game, she can assist too, as she did assist on the opening goal.
And for Portland, Bella Bixby out today. She started the first 4 games, so that brings Britt Eckerstrom in. You mentioned she hasn't played since August of last year. We'll see how that plays a role, especially when you talk about the communication with that back line. Sinclair, that takes a deflection. First corner kick coming for the Portland Thorns.
Britt Eckerstrom, part of that Penn State team, along with her teammate Rocky Rodriguez, that won the 2015 NCAA final. But since then, she does not have any experience playing in knockout games. She's been part of several championship squads, but never the starting keeper.
Of course, Megan Klingenberg will line up in the far corner. Looking to put Portland on the board early. Looped in. That goes over the head of Sinclair.
And we've only seen 2 goals come off a corner kick in the first round. So many goals coming from run of play. And of course, Portland had that beautiful goal off a free kick, Sinclair free kick to Lindsay Oran header. I think set pieces could be their answer today.
It's played up, and there's Catherine Reynolds. Catherine Reynolds getting her 2nd start of the NWSL Challenge Cup. Williams brings it down. O'Sullivan. Addison Merrick on the outside, plays it back in. Lewis going back heel, trying to find Dabinia. Lewis at midfield. Urseg, quite the pair that you have at center back with Abby Urseg and Abby Dahlkemper, the 2 Abbies. The Dahlkemper, 3 straight years she's been named Best 11.
Both Abbies, of course, having won a Defender of the Year award as well.
Back-to-back years they did that as Lewis is tripped up, but clean tackle there by Christine Sinclair.
And Josh, we've seen this matchup many times in the NWSL playoffs, you know, during a normal season. Last time they met in a knockout game was the 2018 final. North Carolina coming out on top with a 3-0 win. But of course, the previous year was Portland coming out on top with a 1-0 win thanks to Lindsay Herriman goal.
Rodriguez calling for his Weaver, gets the pass. Klingenberg lines it up, sends it in with the left. And Rowland's able to get there. Caitlin Rowland with her 3rd straight start for the Courage. She has 2 straight clean sheets. We were talking about off the air, just the depth of this North Carolina team, pretty much at every position. Rowland's been doing a great job replacing Stephanie LeBay.
Not a lot of teams can say that their number 2 is as good as their number 1. Though, of course, we've really enjoyed seeing Bella Bixby in that first round, surprising all of us.
Dahlkemper clears it away just enough. Dunn goes wide. Williams into the area. Cuts in. That one rises above the crossbar.
Williams taking a shot that time as opposed to sending it over to a teammate. Of course, she leads the tournament in shots. This time ball coming Debinha to Dunn to Williams up that left flank again. Switches to a right foot. Tries to find that upper corner. Nope, too high.
Paul Riley talks about how she can get better at finishing, and that's just scary to think that Lynn Williams can get even more dangerous in that final third if she just improves on that one little area.
Yeah, I guess it might be more, it's getting more efficient and maybe less dangerous, right? Or maybe it's the same thing. Last couple of seasons, she's led in shots. I think it goes back and forth between her and Sam Kerr if you look at the last few seasons.
For Portland, they're still looking for their first win in this tournament. Reynolds sends it into the area. Puts it right back, looking for Weaver or Lucy. High hop, and that one ends on the top of the cage.
Yeah, at this point, I can still use this nice little bullet for Portland. They have never won in Utah, regardless of who they've been playing. They have not won in regular season the last 2 seasons, and they have not won in this tournament. That being said, all the games have been really close, right? It's too easy to look at the standings from the first round and go, oh my God, Portland wins in 8th. It's like all those games were so close, especially with having 4 teams tied on 4 points in the middle of the standings.
For Portland last year, 3rd in the standings. They fell in the semifinals. But this is the game that counts, as winner will move on. Klingenberg down the line. Too much touch on that pass, trying to find Morgan Weaver. For Portland, their last win coming last September. It's been a while in between wins. This is where you need it. I think people thought that North Carolina could cruise right through this, but you look at the depth and the experience of Portland, they very much could give trouble to North Carolina. And you go back to that first game in the preliminary round, if it wasn't for a Lynn Williams goal in stoppage time, that game would have ended up in a 1-1 draw.
And this game cannot end in any kind of draw. So if that had been the knockout game, it would have gone straight to penalties. And we've seen North Carolina clutch the whole first round, getting that late game winner against Chicago with an Abby Urseg goal.
Williams, she's been so good putting pressure on the back line early. Dunn connects with Hamilton, and that one just rolls out past the end line. Kristen Hamilton, the only player drafted out at DU. That's Denver University.
I was going to say no one knows what DU is, Josh, but you explain. He's a Colorado boy. He calls it DU. I just like that she's stuck with the same club, and the same club stuck with her from, going from Western New York Flash to when the Carolina franchise bought it. And it's paid off. she was explosive last season.
And Hamilton wrestles Hubley down to the ground. And Kelly Hubley in the first game against North Carolina, she started at right back, but now has moved into the center back position these last 3 games.
We've often seen Catherine Reynolds in that position, but they wanted to try her at right back with, some minor knocks to Kristen Westphal. We've seen a very rotating cast of characters for that back line, unfortunately for Portland, with Becky Sauerbrunn sustaining a minor hip injury during the first game. Still only allowed 3 goals in 4 games.
Problem for Portland, just 2 goals in those 4 games. First game they did score against North Carolina. The only team to do that coming from Simone Charlie. Lindsay Herriman would score in the draw against Washington on a beautiful layout on a header that was sent from a Megan Klingenberg pass. North Carolina applying that high pressure. They will try to force teams to make a mistake in their final third. Sometimes for teams, it's really just getting through that first 15 or 20 minutes or so and try to survive that pressure. Salem.
Great feature on Angela Salem on equalizersoccer.com. One of many players who's played every season in the league. And that kind of player who, never quite got the nod from national teams. So the fact that, she's played from 2013 on, stuck with it, to see the league at the point where even the supplemental players, are paid a better salary and have insurance and stipends.
Herriman. Centers it to Lucy, and that one blocked away by Abby Urseg. Great work there by Herriman to create that open space to find Tyler Lucy.
Fancy footwork by Herriman, going all the way to the touchline, sending it back to Lucy, who's trying to one-touch it, but North Carolina using their bodies as a shield, not letting that get anywhere near goal.
Low-driven ball. Megan Klingenberg will be in charge of pretty much all set pieces for the Portland Thorns. Last year, 4 assists for Portland. She has 1 here so far in the NWSL Challenge Cup. High pressure there by the Thorns as this takes a high hop.
And that could be an important tiebreaker in the Golden Boot standings. Got a couple of players beneath her with 2 goals and an assist.
Ryan cuts out that pass, looks to move it up. Rodriguez. Weaver heads it down to Lucy, but right there is Urseg in the right position. Daniels. She has Hamilton and Dunn in front of her. Mewis coming up from behind. Loops it in. Dunn gathers. Up top to Williams, fires, and that one blocked away by Mingus. Williams sent it on the ground, and Mingus in the right spot to clear it out.
Mewis lofting the ball in. Dunn settling, getting it over to Williams, who tries for that low hard shot, deflected off of Mingus to keep us scoreless at this point.
Hey, look at our secret virtual watch party powered by Google Meet. And right there, Herriman going up to head that one out. Herriman so good in the air. Good on the defensive side, and of course, on set pieces in the attacking third.
Death taxes and Herriman headers, as we've seen on the Portland TIFO.
High lofting ball. Herriman there once again. Klingenberg sends it away out the touchline. For North Carolina, the only team to win all 4 of their games in the preliminary rounds. 12 points, a perfect record.
But the only team they conceded a goal to was this Portland Thorns.
It's hard to believe that only goal was in the 80th minute of that first game since North Carolina last allowed a goal.
So they're approaching 300 minutes without allowing a goal.
Dahlkemper moving up. Long ball diagonal. Debinha. Way to bring it back. Fancy footwork there from Debinha. Drops it off for Mewis. And looking to go near post. Britt Eckerstrom able to watch that one go wide. And of course, if you're just joining us, Britt Eckerstrom getting her first start here in the NWSL Challenge Cup.
Debinha using that footwork, settling down, sending it over to Mewis, who unleashes a shot, but it's wide. Nothing for Eckerstrom to do there. Of course, Eckerstrom stepping in for the injured Bella Bixby. Slight knee problem, so they're playing it safe. And we haven't seen a good look at her yet, but word on the street is Nadine Angerer, the goalkeeper coach, has been signed as an emergency goalkeeper replacement. So she is the backup for Eckerstrom tonight. She was Portland's #1 for 2014 and 2015 before she retired. And, you know, FIFA Women's World Player of the Year and 2-time World Cup champion. And I don't know how many Euro titles. It's probably 4 or 5. Who knows?
Here, a good look at Paul Riley and the bench of the North Carolina Courage. Rocky Rodriguez in her first year with the Thorns. Spent her previous 5 with Sky Blue FC. Done. And that one right at Britt Eckerstrom. Crystal Dunn with her first goal in the win against Sky Blue.
Eckerstrom was the starting keeper for Portland last summer when Adriana Franch was away for the Women's World Cup and then for one of the Victory Tour matches. So she started 10 of the 24 regular season games last year, allowing just 11 goals in 10 matches. But as we mentioned before, she's never played a knockout game in her NWSL career.
Hamilton. Williams back to Debinha. Out wide, Merrick. Merrick looking to send that one in. Goes off Herriman. Herriman able to keep it alive. For Addison Merrick, Paul Riley is trying to get her more attack-minded. He wants her to attack first and defend second, which is always a weird thing to hear when you play on that back row. But we know how much Paul Riley likes to send his fullbacks up the field.
Relentless pressure is really the MO for North Carolina. 44 shots in the first round, 21 on target.
Williams. Mewis. Not enough power behind that for Sam Mewis. Sam Mewis, the younger sister of Christy Mewis. She will play tonight against the Utah Royals FC. That was a great game to start off the preliminary round for those two clubs. Highest scoring game of the tournament so far.
If we ended up with a North Carolina-Houston knockout round game, that would be the first time the sisters would face off in an NWSL knockout game.
Daniels. So dangerous when she moves up towards that inline. She can cross the ball in. And she looks to do it right now. Looking for Lynn Williams. Hubley getting more comfortable at that center back position, plays it out. The Brazilian Debinha. Trying to slither her way through 3 players. Williams cuts in. Debinha with the back heel, trying to pass that to Crystal Dunn. And there's Christine Sinclair.
Sinclair's gone 10 NWSL games without a goal, which is her longest stretch since 2014. Of course, she's scored some international goals in that time, just not for Portland Thorns.
Daniels with 2 defenders on, splits them and cleared away by Salem, but right to Mewis. Daniels back to Mewis, good combination passing. Back post. Good ball movement there by North Carolina Courage. As once again, they're just planting themselves in this final third. We see them do that throughout this tournament.
Lots of pressure, several shots, no shots on target yet.
Rodriguez. Big midfield acquisition. Traded for Midge Purse. Herriman. Looking to connect with Lucy there, but once again, Sam Mewis in the way. Klingenberg turns. Portland looking to set up. Herriman. Soccer fans, the official shop of the NWSL is now open. Visit NWSLshop.com now and sign up to be the first to receive special offers and promotions. NWSLshop.com, the official place to gear up and support your favorite team, coming soon. Jen, you and I talked about that the other day when we saw the shop open, just all the great things that you could get.
It's open now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said that.
All right, I heard the soon.
No, I had to redo it.
Okay.
Because I realized from my previous writing that I had to change it. But that is officially open. So you can go and see all 9 teams as Sinclair gets blocked initially, fights through.
And Challenge Cup specific merch.
I should say now all 10 teams, because they also have Racing Louisville on there as well.
Yes. Right now there's not yet international shipping, but I was inquiring about that yesterday. They are working on it. Lots will be added to the store. It's taking some time, of course, affected many supply chains.
Mewis, O'Sullivan, Merrick sends it with that right foot, and right there, once again, Herriman in the right spot in the middle of the box. We've seen 3 different clearances from Lindsey Herriman here so far in this game.
Getting back, playing defense for her team. She's one of the many MVPs on this field in this game, Josh. But she's the only one who can say she's a double MVP. She was MVP of the 2017 final when Portland won, and she had the goal. And then she was MVP of the 2018 season.
Mewis with the left. Sam Mewis does have a goal in this NWSL Challenge Cup. That coming last game.
The game winner against Sky Blue. That was the earliest goal of the tournament.
Just beating Roosevelt's previous by 1 minute. And Morgan Weaver, the rookie, down on the turf for Portland. Weaver, the 2nd overall pick in this year's draft. Great career at Washington State. Finished it with 43 goals, tied for 2nd best all time.
And the player from Washington State with the all-time lead dates back to the early 90s when it was a very, very different deal, very different conference. And there's a look at Nadine Angerer. I think she's just feeling comfortable that she's probably not going to have to play, so we don't see her in a keeper jersey. But she has been signed by the team. She is on the game sheet. So if something happens to Britt Eckerstrom, it's 41-year-old Nadine Angerer who gets to say, hey, Nicole Barnhart, you're not the oldest in the tournament. I'm the oldest in the tournament.
So now we can call her player coach for today.
Yes, yes. Second time we've had a player coach situation in NWSL. Jillian Lloyden back in 2016. She was goalkeeper coach for Sky Blue. She had to step in after an injury. Unger has been goalkeeper coach at Portland since she retired after the 2015 season, has just stayed in Portland. She's one of 3 former players who went into coaching that are currently with teams. So we have Amy Lepelbit with Utah, Becca Moros with Sky Blue. Of course, Steph Cox was an assistant coach for Reign. Now she's back playing, so she's not on their coaching staff anymore. But it's a great thing to see.
Now goal kick for Britt Eckerstrom. We talked about plenty of playing experience last year with Portland. So she does have experience with numerous players on that back row of the Thorns. We'll make that transition a little bit easier here today. Of course, this is the first of 2 quarterfinal games. We'll have Utah and Houston later. And then tomorrow, Washington Sky Blue and OL Reign in Chicago.
4 teams heading on to the semifinals after this. 4 will leave the bubble and go home.
And of course, you look what also happens with the semifinals. We move over to Rio Tinto Stadium. Semifinals, and of course the final Sunday, July 26th at 12:30 will be at the Riot. Williams backing up. Williams square ball, and right there is Menges. Dabinia was right at the spot.
Menges has spent her entire career with Portland, having been drafted in 2014.
Long throw by Daniels. Sinclair. Lucy.
You know, what we've been missing, Josh, from this tournament are the incredible long throws of Jessica McDonald. She made her first appearance against Sky Blue last game. Hopefully we'll see her this game. Of course, Sam Staub for Washington Spirit, she has some great long throws too.
Just another weapon that Paul Riley can use if McDonald gets in the game. Dahlkemper retreating and able to get to the ball. Merrick. Dunn brought down by Klingenberg.
Kling wearing a fancy little device that we learned about earlier today. I wish we could do a feature on this, but apparently it's a device to help prevent concussions. It slows the blood flow out of the neck to give a bubble wrap effect around the brain.
Concussion wear is always a big thing. This is played into Williams, left-footed ball, and that one punched up. Eckerstrom able to get back there. She tried to go over the crossbar, didn't make it. She was able to retreat and catch the ball before Hamilton could get there.
And of course, it's Lynn Williams with the shot. Dabinia sending her the ball. Nice one touch with the left foot. Gets a great shot off. Eckerstrom has to push it over. Doesn't push it all the way over, but reads that well to keep it out of the net.
And you can tell she knew that. She didn't get all of that.
She followed that
Heads
immediately.
up play. Merrick, 2018 Defender of the Year for Kansas in the Big 12. Hamilton. Looking for Williams. That rises to Dabinia, but heading away is Catherine Reynolds. An offside flag up against North Carolina.
I'd say one of the biggest things going for Portland this game, Josh, is that back line in terms of its experience, not only with Portland, but just experience in NWSL. Kling having played every season since 2014, same for Menges. Catherine Reynolds every season that the league's been around. Hubley, this is her third, maybe fourth year with Portland, a trialist, but, you know, has been with this club, right? So they've got a lot of experience playing with each other. You know, they might be lacking some pieces offensively, but if they can shut North Carolina down and maybe get to PKs, maybe that's how you get through. If you don't get that free kick opportunity that we've been talking about where you can get a Herriman header.
Sinclair going back post. Sinclair was looking for Tyler Lucy.
I'd rather see Sinclair take that shot.
I agree with you on that one. She had plenty of space. Talked about it before. Christine Sinclair has not scored in her last 10 NWSL games. Daniels charging up the pitch. Dabinia. And that one knocked away. Well, we've seen some great diving saves from Bella Bixby right there. Full layout from Britt Eckerstrom.
Eckerstrom, who's been Portland's #2 the last 2 seasons. We know what she's capable of. Great read on this shot by the Brazilian. Both hands on it, sends it wide. And that's got to feel good as a keeper to make that stretch, make that save. You're not waiting for the attack. Now you've felt it, you're in the game.
If you wonder if Eckerstrom would show any nerves, well, she has not done so today. She's had 2 really good saves as this is sent in low.
Both of Portland's keepers in this tournament having very short notice that they would be starting. Bixby getting maybe, 36 hours notice that she'd make her Portland debut on the game on CBS, you know, live national broadcast against the defending champs.
And we have reached our hydration break here between North Carolina and the Portland Thorns. We are scoreless. We'll be right back here watching the NWSL right here on Twitch. Welcome back to Herriman, Utah. Josh Toll and the keeper, Jen Cooper, with you. Scoreless right now between the North Carolina Courage and the Portland Thorns. For the Thorns, they've had the better of the opportunities, but we've seen Portland have a little bit more build-up, just having trouble getting a shot on goal. Caitlin Rowland right now is still looking for that first save. Britt Eckerstrom, meanwhile, has been tested. Of course, Eckerstrom getting her first start here in this NWSL Challenge Cup, replacing the injured Bella Bixby.
Nadine Unger named as her backup. Unger, the goalkeeper from the 2007 Women's World Cup. She was the starter that year for Germany when they won their second title. She went the entire tournament, Josh, without allowing a goal. No one else has done that. And she stopped a Marta penalty kick in the final. Not in a shootout, actually within regulation. Could you imagine if this was Orlando playing today? It's like, come on, Marta, bring it on. Let's
great
reunite.
Flashbacks to be had. Of course, Jen mentioned the penalty kicks. We do not have extra time in this. We will go to penalty kicks if the game is tied at the end of regulation. That's been the biggest change from the preliminary round to the knockout stage. Dabinia has space and sent that one just low, and Eckerstrom able to dive back on top. Well, Dabinia is able to work her way through 4 defenders. Unfortunately, just kicked it right at Eckerstrom. Didn't even have to work.
Love this footwork from Dabinia, getting through, 4 or 5 defenders, getting the shot off. But Eckerstrom is right there, and even though she bobbles the initial save, she then pounces on it so it doesn't go out and give North Carolina a corner.
Merrick looking for Hamilton, and there's Hubley. Klingenberg. Down the line. O'Sullivan cuts off the path. Merrick, good hesitation there. Gets by 2 defenders. Harambe the second, then Salem comes over to break up. That's going to be the thing for Addison Merritt, gaining more confidence as she moves up the field. For Paul Riley, he likes to use both sides.
I don't think any of us would have predicted that she would be the replacement for that right back spot. Normally would be Merritt Mathias, who's still coming back from the injury suffered last September. Of course, Heather O'Reilly, who stepped in for Merritt Mathias last fall, she's retired. I think some of us were guessing it'd be Haley Mace, who they acquired from Sky Blue. But Paul Riley has gone with Haley Mace in more of a midfield / attacking role. But if Paul Riley thinks Addison Merritt can start for the defending champs at outside back, I trust him.
I think he knows what he's doing. He's proven
think he does.
Two-time Coach of the Year in 2017 and 2018. Lewis in the circle. And we have the collision between Lynn Williams and Catherine Reynolds. Reynolds, the player, is slow to get up for the Thorns.
Our referee, Lucas Spala, blowing the whistle. He did 3 first-round games in this tournament, including the North Carolina Portland opener. And there we see Williams must have got a little laceration on her face. She has to leave the field of play if she's actively bleeding. We haven't seen Reynolds.
You see the trainer calling over for some help. Of course, Catherine Reynolds, over 10,000 minutes in her NWSL career.
There's not a lot of people that have over 10,000 minutes.
Lynn Williams leads all goal scorers so far in this NWSL Challenge Cup. She has 3. Next 2 players behind her, Rachel Daly and Shea Groom, both with 2. They will play tonight against Utah Royals FC. In that game, in the first preliminary round matchup, highest scoring game, 6 goals total between 2 teams. It went down to the last minute with Zierra King, the rookie, coming on in the 89th minute, getting the equalizer. Of course, this game being a rematch from the very first game here at the preliminary round. And like in that one, scoreless at halftime. The first goal didn't come until the 75th minute, the last time these 2 teams played one another.
Today is officially rematch day, Josh. So we see they are bringing out a stretcher for Catherine Reynolds. So I'm thinking we're going to have to see a sub. I don't know if that's Kristen Westphal. We'll see what happens. Of course, Lynn Williams getting taped up as well.
See that cut just right above her eye. Lynn Williams, you mentioned it earlier, 19 shots so far in this tournament. Leads all players. The only player also in double digits when it comes to shots, which we found kind of surprising.
What I also found interesting was you look at team totals for shots. Portland, of course, first with 44. Sorry, North Carolina first with 44. Portland right behind them with 39, right? But North Carolina having 7 goals, Portland having 2. But it can be so close. You know, we know the parity of this league. And they did have a pretty tough draw when you look at Portland playing North Carolina, Chicago, Washington,
OL Reign. You have 3 of those 4 teams in last year's playoffs. So you see Lynn Williams still getting worked on.
I wonder if they're using glue, you know, to clean up that wound. I still have nightmares from the video I saw in CONCACAF Women's World Cup qualifying in 2010. I kid you not, Josh. Abby Wambach went head-to-head with somebody who was bleeding, laceration, and close to the end of the game, U.S. is losing. They actually brought the staples out and stapled her forehead on TV. Thankfully, we're not having to see any staples here, but it does sound like we're getting a Portland sub.
And Kristen Westphal will come in for Catherine Reynolds. Westphal, she has played in this, so that will mean that she will play the right back position. That's where she has played so far here in this NWSL Challenge Cup. So not a huge move for the Thorns. Obviously, you do lose Mingus, and then you're down to 4 substitutions.
Reynolds.
Or, sorry, yes, Reynolds, not Mingus.
Westfall, she was the number 3 pick in the 2016 NWSL draft, right after Rocky Rodriguez, the number 2 pick, where she was picked by Boston back in the day, and then acquired by the Reign in the Boston Dispersal draft in 2018. And then Portland picked her up via trade in the offseason.
A bandage right there above the left eye of Lynn Williams. As Kristen Westfall stretches out a little bit more, as she'll make her appearance. Of course, since we're in the quarterfinals, it's win or go home. North Carolina, the top seed in this bracket. For the Portland Thorns, they're in the 8th spot. Last year, Thorns finished 3rd in the NWSL standings as Reynolds is able to come off.
Good to see her on her feet. And good to see taking the precautions. It might sound strange, but with, Lynn Williams bleeding, it might look worse. But generally, that's a laceration that's much more minor than whatever Catherine Reynolds is dealing with. Not seeing blood, it could be a lot more serious, and definitely don't want to take any risks.
Training staff doing an excellent job for both teams, keeping these players safe. Now we will see that substitution for the Portland Thorns.
First sub of the match. Each team allowed up to 5 subs in this game. You have to make all of your subs in regulation. Once the whistle blows at the end of this game, you can't make any sub changes for your penalty kick shootout. You'd have to use who's on the field.
Just about back to action. Still scoreless here between North Carolina and Portland. Josh Toll and Jen Cooper with you once again. Knockout stage is beginning today. Tomorrow we'll have more quarterfinal action, and then Wednesday the semifinals, and of course the championship will be Sunday, July 26 at 12:30. Semifinals and the championship game will be moved to Rio Tinto Stadium. So last 2 days here in Herriman, Utah.
Nice grass at Rio Tinto, and another gorgeous skyline, or rather another gorgeous mountain backdrop.
Deloy Hansen has 2 great views, of course, at the big stadium in Rio Tinto that holds over 20,000, and this one that holds over 5. Williams gets her first touch. At the top of the box, right-footed ball, and that one just left of the frame. So close for Lynn Williams, looking for her 4th goal of this Challenge Cup.
Getting back in the game with a bang, taking a shot with the right foot just past that post. Britt Eckerstrom stretching out. Lynn Williams on top of the Golden Boot standings here, and she was the Golden Boot winner in 2016 with 11 goals and 4 or 5 assists. I can't remember. But she had 1 more assist than Kaylia Watt. And that was the tiebreaker.
For the Portland Thorns, they're still looking for their first shot on target. As this will go out of play. Sinclair had a chance earlier, but elected to pass the ball to the back post on a run.
And if you're Mark Parsons, how do you say, sink, shoot it, just shoot it?
Hamilton. Great help there by Lucy coming back deep. Hubley wins the ball, and that one played off. Last touch by Hubley. Poor pass back there from the rookie Addison Merrick. Salem. Morgan Weaver and Angela Salem, just not enough spacing right there between those 2 players to create any kind of action. And Rodriguez will play this all the way back to midfield. Mingus. Rodriguez. Sinclair. She was trying to thread that one to Morgan Weaver. Now played up. Debinha. 9 minutes of stoppage time here in the first half. Hamilton. Looking for Debinha on that one. Just finds its way wide. That was almost a repeat from the first game between these two teams.
So close. Debinha working it down, sending it over to Hamilton, who works it around Hubley to get it back to Debinha. That one touch failed her. She's trying to find the left side of the net, just went a little bit wide.
Looked like she hit that off her knee as opposed to getting a better touch on her boot.
Debinha with the first goal of the tournament in that opener against Portland. She also had the first goal in the last two NWSL finals. Both of them wins for North Carolina.
Sinclair. Westfall. Towards the inline. Debinha in control. And that one cut out by Hubley. Good job reading the pass, stepping in the lane. Sinclair lines it up. He's looking for the rookie Weaver, who just popped it up in the air. Both these teams with plenty of, when you're looking at playoff experience, what you want to call it now, elimination experience. For North Carolina Courage, they have 13 players that have played in elimination games. Portland with 8, as this is looped up, but right to Sam Mewis.
And of course, we're talking NWSL elimination games. A lot of these players have experience, of course, with international play, also NCAA competition. But it's such an important thing at the club level, and coaches have talked about this, getting that experience in the high pressure win or go home. You don't get very much of that with a normal NWSL season, which is, 24 game regular season, then only 4 teams going to the playoffs. So beauty of this is every team in the tournament gets to the quarterfinals. Everybody's going to have at least one knockout game experience.
Sinclair. Herriman. This one just above the crossbar. First real good look coming from Angela Salem for the Portland Thorns.
Love that shot from the NWSL original. She hasn't had a goal in NWSL play since 2016. Not someone you usually see goals from, working defensive midfielder more normally, but I like that attitude of, I see an opening, I'm going to take a shot.
Great dummy ball from the rookie there in Weaver, but Rodriguez couldn't get it to on the backside. Rodriguez still looking for her first goal in a Portland Thorn kit. Lucy on the half turn there. She just released and just went left and high. Oh, Lucy had a couple big goals last year for the Portland Thorns. Rolling, pressure from Lucy.
Both of Lucy's goals were game winners too, Josh. Lots of stoppage time here, but of course we had that long injury break and also hydration break. We've only seen one first half stoppage time goal in the tournament.
It's looking like this is going to end the same way it did in the preliminary round here as we get close to half, and these two teams went scoreless in the first 45 minutes last time. I have to think we're going to get that halftime whistle here any moment. One last push here maybe for Portland. Weaver. Sinclair, and that one chopped out by O'Sullivan. Williams. She gets around Westfall. Williams, square ball. And that one off the back of Hubley.
Great work by the Portland defense to make sure all those players were covered.
And Williams, she does not slow down. She likes to work that left side of the pitch. She'll get out wide and then she'll attack into the box. Dunn sends it in with her left foot. Debinha. Miscommunication there between Debinha and Crystal Dunn. Of course, at half, we will have highlights and stats from this one. O'Sullivan plays it outside. Daniels to the back post. And that one just over. A couple times this term, we've seen Jaylene Daniels try to sneak it in far post. But that one too high as it found its way past the end line.
Last time she scored a goal, Josh, it was in Utah, against Utah. She had kind of a cross that ended up going in, you know, one of those Schrosses. She's usually the one playing provider, but she can put it in the net too.
Eckerstrom with her first start here in this NWSL Challenge Cup. She's had a solid first half. She's been challenged in this one. Daniels, Lewis. Brand, diagonal ball, Rodriguez. Brand switches sides, finds Klingenberg. Westfall. Right there, stepping up, Abby Ursig, the center back for the Courage. Dunn in the middle has Hamilton to her right. That's where she goes. Hamilton. And that one denied by Eckerstrom, right in the right spot. Hamilton had space to work with.
She also had Williams streaking down the left side. Great read by Eckerstrom here. Ball to the middle to Dunn. She's got choices left and right, sends to Hamilton, who gets the shot off. Eckerstrom makes the save, and Hubley makes sure it not only stays out, but goes out off of Kristen Hamilton.
Great job by Eckerstrom cutting down the angle against Hamilton. Two big saves for Eckerstrom here. The one diving one and then the one right there, actually make it three. She had one that she tried to pop over the crossbar earlier. And Lindsay Herran's the player slow to get up for Portland, and she's asking for Portland to play this out. Lindsay Herran, the 2018 league MVP, the first player to win MVP without winning the Golden Ball, Golden Boot. Portland's already had one injury with Catherine Reynolds having to head off the field. So this is the last thing you want to see if you're the Portland Thorns. Just right as time was about to expire too for halftime. But the story coming into this game was the performance of Bella Bixby, and Britt Eckerstrom continuing that goalkeeper story. She's been marvelous between the sticks today for the Portland Thorns.
I love the goalkeepers we've seen in this tournament, Josh. Not only seeing Bixby and also Eckerstrom get minutes that they wouldn't normally see, but seen some keeper rotation like Chicago. Their second match, they gave both their backups 45 minutes. We've seen the Reign use both of their keepers. Only 4 teams have used the same keeper throughout the first round.
And one of those teams we will see later on tonight when Houston takes on Utah Royals FC. Of course, Houston's Jane Campbell has played in every game. Merrick. Dunn in the channel. Dunn loses possession, just a mistouch. And there is the final whistle here in the first half as we will head to half. Scoreless between North Carolina and the Portland Thorns. North Carolina, ample chances with shots on target. Portland still looking to get their first on target. They'll have to go into half and regroup. And we'll have more for you here at half. You'll watch the NWSL on Twitch. Go back to the first time these two teams met. It was a game-winning goal by Lynn Williams in stoppage time in the 94th minute that gave North Carolina their first win of the Challenge Cup. Well, we have another late-game goal in this one. Well, the next 45 minutes will decide that. Portland still looking for their first win of this NWSL Challenge Cup, and we will see a substitution coming out of half for the North Carolina Courage. So that will mean that both teams have used a substitution so far in this one. We were told that Jess McDonald will replace Kristen Hamilton.
Just her second appearance of the tournament. She came on as a sub in the second half against Sky Blue on Monday night. J-Mac, another lethal scorer for North Carolina. She had a goal in the final against Chicago last year and 2 goals in the final against Portland in 2018.
2018 NWSL Championship MVP. Just another player that Britt Eckerstrom is going to have to worry about in that final third. And there you see Jess McDonald come onto the field for the Courage.
McDonald, the only player in NWSL history to suit up for 6 different clubs. And of course, we are treating Western New York Flash and North Carolina Courage as 2 separate clubs. Because when the Flash sold their NWSL rights to North Carolina, they still had a team afterwards. It was just, I think it was a UWS or WPSL team. There was still a Flash, just not an NWSL Flash.
Josh Toll and Jen Cooper with you as the second half is underway. North Carolina looking for their 5th straight win. They've won 7 straight dating back to last season. Of course, for the Portland Thorns, they're looking for their first win here in this Challenge Cup. Rodriguez just outside the area with the shot, and that one trickles into the hand of Caitlin Rowland. Rodriguez coming over from Sky Blue FC. 2016, she was Rookie of the Year for Sky Blue. Well, Parsons has talked about how she's a player that they've wanted for a while. Wanted to draft her and then really try to find a way to get her last season. Couldn't get anything done. But in the offseason this year, made the trade with Sky Blue, sending Mitch Purse over there. And now Rocky Rodriguez really strengthening that midfield for the Portland Thorns.
Rodriguez, the all-time scoring leader for Costa Rica. She scored their first ever goal in World Cup play back in 2015.
This one played down the line, but Lynn Williams runs out of room. Eckerstrom 3 saves in that first half. Eckerstrom with her first start here in this NWSL Challenge Cup. A great look at Mark Parsons, the 33-year-old head coach for the Portland Thorns.
Still, after all these years, still the youngest head coach in NWSL.
Sinclair. And Daniels will play this all the way back to Caitlin Rowland. Rowland getting her third straight start. In her first two, she has held clean sheets. O'Sullivan in the center. Turns away. Merrick, the rookie. Merrick working her way down the channel. Back post. That one cleared away by Kristen Westphal. Westphal subbed on late in the first half after the injury to Catherine Reynolds.
Teams allowed up to 5 subs each in the tournament. Of course, they have to make all of their subs during regulation. If we get to the end of the game and it's 0-0 and goes to penalties, any subs they want to make have to be made before the final whistle blows.
And here's that long throw by McDonald. And that one over everyone right into the arms of Eckerstrom. Jess McDonald, the only sub so far for Paul Riley. Merrick.
In the first round, Josh, we mostly saw subs kind of start to flow around 60th, 65th minute, but this will be different.
And Hubley is the player down for the Portland Thorns. But Hubley able to get up.
At this point, of course, Portland doesn't want to lose any more defenders. And as we talked about in the first half, with Bixby out for this game, they had to sign their goalkeeper coach, Nadine Angerer, to an emergency GK contract. So she's officially Eckerstrom's sub. And we saw Herriman go down at the very end of stoppage in the first half. She didn't look happy there.
And you have to wonder if at the end of that first half, she wanted to try to give it a go again. If she might come off for the remainder of this one. Could possibly see the second sub today for the Portland Thorns. So things just do not get any easier for Portland.
And she was such a big part of their game against Washington. She had the header goal off of Sinclair. Oh no, sorry, it was a Klingenberg free kick.
And we will have a sub for Portland. Celeste Bourret will now head on for the injured Lindsay Herriman. We may have a second sub here in a moment. And then Simone Charlie will also make her way on.
Charlie, the only person who has scored against North Carolina in this tournament. She had an 80th minute equalizer against Carolina in the opener.
That one headed and then hits off Charlie. It looked like Mewis was the player for North Carolina, and Charlie just subs on right at the right spot on that goal line, able to clear it away. Sent right back in, and right there is Hubley. So Simone Charlie subs in for Tyler Lucy not even a minute ago. And her first touch is a huge one for the Thorns. Thorns have used 3 subs in this one. They have 2 more remaining. Done. We're going to slide that one through, and coming off the line was Eckerstrom. Debinha was cutting through the box. Klingenberg not happy with how close Debinha was to Britt Eckerstrom. Debinha, one of the most dangerous midfielders. As we'll take a look back at this replay. Great ball in. And you see Debinha having a leap over Eckerstrom. Dabinia doing the right thing there, going to make sure that if there's a loose ball, and Dabinia will have a yellow card handed.
And that is the first yellow card that North Carolina has received all tournament. Now, after quarterfinals, your yellow cards are washed away and you start fresh in the semifinal. So this doesn't mean a lot for Dabinia unless she got a second yellow in this card and then in this game, and she'd have to miss the semifinal.
Portland Thorns, they have struggled scoring. They have not scored a goal in 5 of their last 7 games. Just 2 goals here in this NWSL tournament. Of course, now with Lindsay Herriman coming off the pitch, that leaves Christine Sinclair on. Gotta wonder if Simone Charlie being inserted into the rotation and how she's gonna have an impact as Merrick plays this in. And here is Charlie. Charlie denied on the ball. Mewis. Williams turns away. Mewis. And that one cleared out by Rodriguez. Weaver. Gets around Merrick. Works her way inside. Weaver waiting for some help. Bure with her first touch. And then Salem coming up again, ripping that one. Well, Salem not afraid to take a chance tonight as this is lofted back post. Weaver heads it, and right there is rolling. Just not enough power from Weaver.
Weaver making a great run there, but her teammates a little slow to support. She had to hold up the ball, let a lot of Carolina players get back and in position.
Sullivan back to Merrick. And North Carolina, they have won their 6 of their last 8 against the Portland Thorns.
And in the history of this matchup, Josh, over the last 3 seasons, including playoffs, we've never had a scoreless North Carolina Portland Thorns match. And I'm hoping by saying that I will a goal to happen.
You've done that a couple times, maybe unintentionally. Daniels.
We did have 4 scoreless matches out of the 16 first-round games, but also feel like some of those came from, well, you're just getting going, right? These teams had a very limited preseason, didn't have a chance to scrimmage anyone but themselves. It was a very different kind of preparation for an event like this than you would normally see.
Dabinia with the game's only yellow card. Merrick inside. O'Sullivan.
Tyler Lucy, the only other player sitting on a yellow, but of course she's been subbed out, so she won't have to worry about missing a game if Portland does advance. Dabinia, the MVP of the championship game last fall, scoring the game winner, the first goal of that game. She also had an amazing free kick goal in the semifinal, which was also the game winner.
4th corner here for the North Carolina Courage. Williams with that bandage over her left eye, plays it out. Done. Looking for Mewis, that one pinballed in, and Hubley right there. Well, hit on 2 different players, but Hubley able to be the person that plays it out for the Portland Thorns, allows them to reset and regather themselves. Day in Herriman, Utah. First game here in the quarterfinals. Tonight you have Utah and Houston.
So this is officially our rematch day, and then tomorrow it's new matches with Washington, the number 2 seed, taking on Sky Blue, and then Reign ending up in the number 3 spot facing Chicago. Today's winners will meet in the early semifinal next week, and tomorrow's winners meet in the late semifinal.
Semifinals will be on Wednesday, and they will head over to Rio Tinto Stadium. Of course, the championship Sunday, July 26th at 12:30. Williams, and that one right at Eckerstrom. Britt Eckerstrom getting her first start here in this NWSL Challenge Cup, and another save as Lynn Williams sent this one low. Eckerstrom didn't have to move for it. You've seen her make a couple diving stops, but that one right on. Now Portland will look to find a way to get a shot on target. They're still looking for their first shot on goal. Falling down was Merrick on the high pressure. Dunn nearly stole that one away. And Simone Charlie offside. Charlie, of course, one of the subs for the Portland Thorns. The other one coming on was Celeste Bourret for Lindsey Herriman. Williams. Daniel sends it in, back post. Dunn, and covering that up was Eckerstrom. If Dunn's able to get a better first touch on that ball, maybe she has a chance, but well aware of who was in the box was Britt Eckerstrom.
And what's that saying, Josh? Defense wins championships. Jaylene Daniels floating a great ball into the box. Crystal Dunn right there, but so is Britt Eckerstrom.
North Carolina perfect in the preliminary round, winning their 4 games. Portland still looking for their first win. For Portland, they fell to North Carolina in 3 straight draws as this is played to Charlie. Charlie, that takes a ricochet and corner here for the Portland Thorns.
Interesting to see that Portland has earned as many corners as North Carolina in this match. You know, Portland by far more corners taken than any other team, basically double the number 2 team, which is Portland.
Portland Thorns, one of the taller teams here in the NWSL. They have 7 players over 5'8". Morgan Weaver, Kristen Sinclair being one. Simone Charlie right at 5'8", another person that can get up and get ahead on the ball.
Bourret tried to go up for that ball, but ref called it in the keeper's favor. If she's got control, we can't go for it.
DePina looking ahead for Williams. Menges able to head that one back to Eckerstrom.
Nice control by Menges.
Westfall down the line.
Now we've passed that 60th minute mark, Josh. If you're North Carolina, do you start pouring on the subs to just overwhelm Portland, or do you continue playing what you're playing?
Interesting setup for coaches, especially when you talk about there being no extra time and who you want on the field if this game does go to PKs. Salem giving chase. Williams wins the ball. Has Dunn to the left. That's where she goes. Westfall steps in. Sinclair.
Do you sub out Abby Urseg at some point? She's the only player North Carolina who has played every single minute.
Charlie just runs out of room. A little too much weight on that pass from Celeste Bourret. Caitlin Rowland with her third straight start for the North Carolina Courage. She has yet to allow a goal.
She was a starting keeper for North Carolina in the 2017 final and 2018 final, both against Portland. Losing in 2017, but winning in 2018.
Rodriguez. Daniels, that one cut out. Familiar faces seeing one another once again. Another important elimination game between the North Carolina Courage and the Portland Thorns. Winner moves on to the semifinals on Wednesday. Merrick. Coming over is Klingenberg. That one hits off Klingenberg, and a corner here for the Courage.
Nice idea by Carolina to switch sides. We've seen them coming down the left flank using Jaylene Daniels so much. This time, rookie Addison Merrick bringing the ball down on the right side.
Denise O'Sullivan will set up, and Sam Mewis is just right in front of O'Sullivan. They'll go short. Neither team able to find anything here on the corners. First time these two teams met, North Carolina had 13 corners attempted.
And we're seeing a lot of movement on North Carolina's sideline. Perhaps we'll see a sub or two soon.
Headed down, and there's Egerstrom, full tilt, gets that one. Debina nearly got that one by. Egerstrom has been ready for this game.
Corner from Dahlkemper. Diving header, rather like a driven header from Debina low. But Egerstrom gets down, gets it out.
Daniels. Back post. Looks like offside flag was up against North Carolina. Well, no nerves for Britt Eckerstrom. She has been up to the challenge today. 10 games she started last year for the Portland Thorns. This is her first start here in this Challenge Cup.
Nice look at the team side of Zions Bank Stadium. This is what, maybe 20-minute drive south of Rio Tinto Stadium.
Of course, staff and we've seen teams here as well attend some of these games, scouting what's going on.
And those colored stripes on the seats let the cleaning staff know which seats have been used and which haven't, so they know what to disinfect each night.
Of course, if you get a chance, go read The Equalizer. It's a great article about Edgar Maldonado and his family's cleaning business that's been tasked to clean this stadium after the games, as you take a look at Vlatko Andonovski.
Without his notebook. You couldn't see his notebook there. I read a great article about him too, just how hard this is for him to watch all of this. You know, it's a great way to scout, but when is the U.S. going to get to play again?
Bourret. Salem outside looking for Westfall. Connects. Abby Erceg always in great position for North Carolina. Last year's second best 11. Rodriguez. At the 6, and Portland has scored the first goal, and Morgan Weaver has her first goal in the NWSL. Great build-up from Portland there. You wonder if something was brewing, and what a great pass to find the rookie for her first career goal.
First NWSL goal, first pro goal, first goal of the game, and just the second draftee to score in the tournament. Bourret doing the work on the outside. Ball coming through. Rocky Rodriguez getting into the middle. Clean one-touch finish by the rookie out of Washington State. And I love the celebration from the Thorns bench.
And now take a look at our secret virtual watch party powered by Google. Portland Thorns celebrating, and now North Carolina trailing in this one. And it is win or go home. You know that North Carolina is going to put on the pressure, but a little bit of breathing room for the Portland Thorns. We were wondering who that goal was going to come from. We've talked about Christine Sinclair, Morgan Weaver with a great college career at Washington State, getting her first NWSL goal, and for Rocky Rodriguez, her first assist in a Portland Thorns kit.
And North Carolina has not had to come from behind in this tournament. They scored first against Portland in the first game. Portland equalized, and they got a stoppage game winner.
Williams, that one chopped down by Westfall. Dunn to her left foot, right at Eckerstrom. North Carolina, they've had chances. Too many times, though, they have made Eckerstrom just stay still. For North Carolina, that's also the first goal that they have allowed in this Challenge Cup since the first game against this Portland Thorns squad.
Nearly 350 minutes played without allowing a goal.
Vengus plays it away. O'Sullivan. Dunn. Williams. McDonald in the middle. Williams to the inline. And that hits off Klingenberg. Another corner here for the Courage. North Carolina looking to level things up, possibly right here on this corner, as Abby Dahlkemper will have another try. Near post, punched away. Dunn flicks it back. McDonald with the header. Britt Eckerstrom once again able to dive on top of the ball. Portland unable to clear it away. Dunn just flicks it back, and well, Jess McDonald has 9 career headers for goals. Looking for her 10th right there. Rodriguez assisted on the goal to Weaver. Looking for Sinclair. Klingenberg with a good job of dispossessing the ball from Crystal Dunn. Weaver sends it in, and that will result in a corner.
Portland hasn't come back to win after going down 1-0 since last July, almost a year ago, playing in Utah. They went down 1-0 to Utah, but came back to win 2-1 off a Jess McDonald game winner.
Klingenberg lines up in the 1-yard arc. Inward swinging ball. Hubley. Back post. And right there, grabbing that out of the air is Caitlin Rowland. Charlie was in the area for Portland. Bure. Charlie. Coming up is Sinclair, but right there is Merrick. Soccer fans, the official shop of the NWSL is now open. Visit NWSLshop.com now and sign up to be the first to receive special offers and promotions. NWSLshop.com, the official place to gear up and support your favorite team, coming soon. Of course, you have Challenge Cup items you can purchase there. You can also buy the new team in Racing Louisville FC, the 10th team here in the NWSL. As this is sent up to Weaver.
They've got mugs. They have a nice pride tee. And there will be international shipping soon. That functionality is not there yet, but it is coming. And they do plan on adding team jerseys. Again, that's affected by kind of a lot of COVID supply lines having issues. But more and more will be added. And if you sign up for the newsletter, you get a coupon code sent to you.
Done. Now Portland doing a good job collapsing, trying to build a fortress there in that back line to prevent that one goal for North Carolina. Jen, you've talked about how this is sent in and headed just over. Dabinia once again getting her head on that. We will have that hydration break, but Portland with the 1-0 lead. The goal coming from Morgan Weaver. We still have plenty of time in this one for North Carolina. Possibly level it up. We'll take a break. You're watching the NWSL on Twitch. North Carolina Courage trailing by 1 to the Portland Thorns. North Carolina has won every game coming into this match for the Portland Thorns. They're still looking for their first win here in this NWSL Challenge Cup. And if it comes today, that will send the North Carolina Courage home. For the Portland Thorns, the one goal coming nearly 10 minutes ago from rookie Morgan Weaver. Portland did a great job building the ball up. In the final third there, Rocky Rodriguez ultimately able to find Morgan Weaver, who was just ahead of rookie Addison Merrick. Sam Ewis was also in the area for North Carolina, but Weaver able to squeeze through and get the goal. And we will have another substitution here for the North Carolina Courage. And we were talking about this off air, how we thought Haley Mace might be brought on, and she will be the sub for Paul Riley, replacing Addison Merrick.
And Paul Riley has described Haley Mace as the best finisher on his team, which when you look at the goal scorers they have in Lynn Williams, Dabinia, Jess McDonald, Kristen Hamilton, blah, 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 blah. That says a lot, right?
It's almost like pick a name out of a hat and you're going to find a goal scorer for North Carolina.
And we already have one first NWSL goal today. You know, why not another?
Just the second rookie to score in this NWSL Challenge Cup. The other one, Zierra King for Utah Royals. She'll play tonight against the Houston Dash. Bure looking to slot that one through to Simone Charlie, but there's Abby Urseg. Haley Mace does have an assist in this tournament. That also came back in that first game against these Portland Thorns. Ball played forward. McDonald in the area. Hubley, though, able to cut in front of McDonald and play it out to the touchline. North Carolina does lead the NWSL Challenge Cup in goals with 7. Here's first-year player Haley Mace. Mace drafted number 2 overall in 2019 by Sky Blue. North Carolina acquired her rights in the trade for McCall Zerboni. Mewis knocked over just outside of the box. Dangerous tackle there. Dangerous foul. And now here North Carolina will have an excellent chance just outside the area.
Mewis coming through the top of the box. Salem gets a foot on her, thankfully right outside the box, so it's not a penalty kick. Debinha, we know she's got a lethal free kick.
Debinha looking to possibly bend this around the wall or go over the top. Bends in, and that one punched over by Eckerstrom. What a way to keep the 1-goal lead. That might be your save of the game right there.
Best chance that North Carolina has had. Right-footed bullet from Debinha. Eckerstrom reading it perfectly and using her right hand to send it over.
And there she punches it away.
The Penn State grad on fire.
Eckerstrom 5'10" she's listed at. She's used every bit of her height today.
And reach.
Wingspan always a big thing. Mewis. We talked about the impact that Bella Bixby had the first 4 games, and Brett Eckerstrom doing a great job filling in today and being the difference here for the Portland Thorns. Of course, you have the goal on the other side by Morgan Weaver.
+10 minutes to go. Of course, we know a lot can happen in those last 10 minutes. We have seen North Carolina score as late as the 4th minutes of stoppage time.
This one headed away. And that one hits off Westfall. Charlie. The Portland Thorns looking for their first win here in the NWSL Challenge Cup. 1 loss, 3 draws.
And what a win to get if this result holds.
And that one finds its way across, and that means 2 more subs will come on for the Portland Thorns. We'll see Madison Pogarsh come in, as well as Gabby Seiler. Morgan Weaver, the goal scorer, will head off, and Madison Pogarsh will replace her. Or Gabby Seiler will replace her, and then now Pogarsh will head on as well. And Pogarsh will replace Megan Klingenberg.
Nice pat on the back from quote-unquote backup keeper Nadine Ungerer.
Player coach today. Big way to get your first NWSL goal. And now there you see Madison Pogarsh on. Gabby Seiler getting more play here as the Challenge Cup has gone on. She was injured last season, about halfway through, but a great defensive holding midfielder for Mark Parsons to bring in. For North Carolina, they subbed on Haley Mace and Jess McDonald here in the second half. As this played over the top, Williams able to run it down. Williams looking to level things up. Back post. That one just rised over Debinha. Debinha's had a couple of headers here. She had a great chance on a free kick, but Britt Eckerstrom able to knock it out of play with a brilliant save to keep this score at 1-0.
Eckerstrom has looked so strong all game, keeping Thorns in the mix. Now, Portland have used all of their subs, Josh. North Carolina still sitting on 3 possible subs to use.
Done. You can see the numbers forward for North Carolina as they look for an equalizer with just more than 6 minutes remaining. Of course, we'll have a little bit of stoppage time added on as this is played to Dunn. Dunn in towards the spot, and right there is Hubley. O'Sullivan. Pogarsh. Down the line, no one up front for the Thorns, so this will mean Abby Ursa can calmly collect. North Carolina has scored in every game in this Challenge Cup. Charlie. Rodriguez trying to go back to the other side, and that one denied. Bure follows up, and that one saved by Roland. What a stop! Rodriguez. And Portland wants a corner, and they will get it. Well, Portland looking for that second goal, nearly got it from Celeste Bure. Caitlin Rowland with 2 magnificent saves.
I love the passion in this rivalry, Josh. Portland not content to sit back on their heels. Rodriguez looking for Bure. Bure getting the shot off and even following it to get a touch on the bobble. Rowland looking really big, and North Carolina finally clearing it out of trouble, but giving Portland a corner.
You like Bure continuing forward there. I don't know how Rowland was able to get up and make that second save. If not for that, this could be a 2-0 game for the Portland Thorns. Pogarsh sends it in, low liner. Daniels. Into Debinha. Williams. Back to Debinha. Debinha with a little bit of room. Debinha trying to chip it over, couldn't get it. And then that blocked away by Eckerstrom. What a response there from Britt Eckerstrom. Both keepers, absolutely fantastic.
Double save on one end, double save on the other end. Daniels to Debinha to Williams, back to Debinha. Debinha breaking through, but Eckerstrom smothering it.
Sinclair heads it away. And now pushed up the field by Mingus. Oh, both teams looking for a goal. North Carolina looking for that first. Portland looking for their second. They've not scored multiple goals since last August. And here the dangerous Jess McDonald on the throw-in. Headed back by Urseg. McDonald sends it in. And Salem, she's had an excellent game today for the Portland Thorns, clears it to near midfield. Daniels sends it right back. Dunn just outside the area. Lines it up. That one sent away by Salem. That one off of Denise O'Sullivan and out of play. Portland Thorns came in today's afternoon game as the 8th seed in the Challenge Cup. Of course, North Carolina at the top spot.
But we know how close this league is. Every team's in every game. We saw how close that first game was where North Carolina needed a stoppage time game winner.
Charlie, and just slipped as she fired that one away. Simone Charlie with a goal in the first meeting between these two clubs, her first goal of her NWSL career. Bure doing a good job of cutting in front of Daniels. to take that pass away. Westfall. Hounded by Haley Mace.
And Josh, you have to go back to early May 2019 to find a match where North Carolina was held scoreless in NWSL play. A scoreless draw against Sky Blue in the regular season. They lost a few games after that, but they have not been held scoreless by an NWSL club since May 2019. But I'm also going to say they still have time, because we have seen them come in clutch, both in this tournament, in the playoffs, in regular season.
Well, you go to the first time these two teams met, you had the stoppage time goal by Lynn Williams, which gave North Carolina the win versus these two. Now you're looking for a late goal or a stoppage time goal for North Carolina to possibly just send it to PKs. Sinclair charging forward, stutters.
Sinclair on her longest streak without a goal for Portland, but at this point she's not thinking about that. She's thinking about, how do we burn the rest of the clock? What do I do to help my club defensively? If she sees a shot, take it, but this is more about holding on to that lead.
People are talking, Christine Sinclair, about having to go through North Carolina. She says at some point or another you're going to have to face them, so bring them on. And right now, Portland up by 1. Mace able to knock Bure off the ball. And you look at the scores on the field for North Carolina. You have Crystal Dunn, Lynn Williams, Jess McDonald, Dabinia. Add in Haley Mace. They have players that can find the back of the net. They're just going to have to find a way, as we will have 5 minutes of stoppage time also added on. Bure. Charlie. Charlie trying to win that ball away from Daniels. Daniels comes out on top. McDonald gets around Mingus. Looking for Williams, and that pass cut out by Hubley. Hubley has done an excellent job of moving over that center back position. She's played it in the past, but really in this tournament so far has played it 3 games, but she's just got more confident as the Challenge Cup has progressed.
And that's why this match is so different from the opener. We've been able to see that progression, players getting real competitive minutes, coaches making adjustments. I still don't think anyone would have expected that they would see a 1-0 scoreline in Portland's favor this late in the game.
Well, especially when you look at North Carolina in this one, 8 shots on target.
And that is the high for this tournament. They had that same number of shots on target against Sky Blue. Washington had it against Houston. No one else has had more than 8 shots on target, but spectacular job by Britt Eckerstrom. She's my vote for woman of the match. Save after save after save.
Lone goal coming from Morgan Weaver, assisted by Rocky Rodriguez. That coming in the 68th minute. Portland looking for their first win here in the NWSL Challenge Cup. A little bit more than 3 minutes if they want to hold on and move on to the semifinals. They will face, if they hold on to this lead, the winner of tonight's game, Utah and Houston. Of course, we will have that one for you right here on Twitch. And then 2 more great games tomorrow. Knockout stage is underway. And what a game we've had this afternoon between these two clubs.
And I know Twitch viewers are going to want to watch this one over and over, and I promise you, it's coming. You will be able to rewatch these games soon.
Hubley chasing this down. Lynn Williams doing an excellent job of sticking with that ball, preventing Hubley to play it to safety, trying to win it back for North Carolina. Lynn Williams had a great opportunity in the first half, just sent it right and above the crossbar.
So many opportunities in the first half.
Debinia's had a couple of chances today. For all the shots that North Carolina takes, just unable to get that first one behind Britt Eckerstrom. Really got to hand it to Eckerstrom in the way that she has played. Filling in for what had been the surprise of the tournament, Bella Bixby. But now we have a new surprise in Britt Eckerstrom.
We had seen her play in the last 2 seasons as Franch's backup, but still an incredible performance. Her first knockout round game for Portland, for any club in NWSL. She's been part of championship squads, but hasn't been the person who's been there in goal for a knockout game.
If this result holds, Britt Eckerstrom will have her first clean sheet of the Challenge Cup. It'll be the 3rd for the Portland Thorns. Ursag up to McDonald, heads it back. Sinclair. That one off of O'Sullivan, and now Portland will slowly pick up the ball on the side rail there for the throw. Trying to milk as much as the clock as possible. North Carolina running out of time to find that equalizer to send this to PKs. Will we have late game heroics here from someone on the Courage? Right now, the 2 heroes in this one, Morgan Weaver, the goal scorer, as we have a yellow card handed out to Denise O'Sullivan. And Britt Eckerstrom coming up big for the Portland Thorns.
O'Sullivan, of course, not worried about that yellow because at this point she's either going home or the yellow would get wiped before the semifinals. As will Tyler Lucy's, the only Portland player sitting on a yellow.
Blu-ray plays it to the corner. Charlie giving chase, keeps it in. And there is the final whistle, and Portland defeats North Carolina 1-0. It took 5 games, but the Thorns get their first win in the most important game of this tournament here in the knockout stage. What a game for the Thorns. Game-winning goal from Morgan Weaver, but Britt Eckerstrom was absolutely huge. We'll have highlights and stats when we return right here on Twitch. Well, Portland came up big in the game that mattered first. In our first quarterfinal match of the day, Portland victorious 1-0, as we'll take a look back at the highlights from this one between these 2 clubs, as we'll look back here in what looked like North Carolina was going to get it going very early.
So many attacks by North Carolina in the first half, most of them coming from Lynn Williams. Britt Eckerstrom starting off her amazing string of saves there. Lots of balls fed from Jaylene Daniel, coming up from the back to Debinia. Takes the shot. Nope. Britt Eckerstrom says that's not going in my net. Lots of good looks from Debinia as well. Second half, several corners for North Carolina. Cannot put one in there. Again, Debinia driving header low. Eckerstrom stretches out, makes the save. Here is the game of the match. Bure getting it in the middle with Rocky Rodriguez's help to an onrushing Morgan Weaver. One touches it past the keeper, and there's her first pro goal, her first Portland goal, and the game-winning goal of this game. Late, North Carolina's trying to get back into the match, earn a free kick just outside the box. Another Debinia torpedo, but nope. Britt Eckerstrom reads that well, punches it over. She was dynamite all game. And Portland trying to get a second. Charlie to Rodriguez. Over to Bure getting a shot, and Bure even challenging on the bobble. Rowland coming up with a great double save there. Again, late. North Carolina never giving up. No finish line, as they say. Daniel sending it through to the middle. Debinha to Williams to Debinha. And again, Eckerstrom charging out, even makes the save on the follow-up. Double saves on both ends of the field. Such an incredible game to watch. Portland eliminating North Carolina.
And of course, if you want to vote on the save of the tournament, that will be voted by the fans. That presented by Verizon. As we take a look at the stats, 8 shots on goal for North Carolina Courage, but Britt Eckerstrom absolutely huge between the sticks today for the Portland Thorns.
Ultimately, if it doesn't go in, the stats don't mean much. Portland getting the one goal they needed the most and coming up with an amazing defensive performance, not just by Eckerstrom, but that whole back line to get the win and eliminate the Courage.
A great way to start out the knockout stage, but we still have more tonight, and hopefully it continues to be just as exciting. And what do we have this evening, Jen? Well, Houston and Utah.
Another rematch, and the winner of Houston-Utah will face Portland in the semifinal. Tomorrow, Washington Spirit takes on Sky Blue, and then with the nightcap, OL Reign against Chicago Red Stars. Winners of those 2 matches will also meet in the Wednesday, July 22nd semifinal.
So now we'll take a look at the updated bracket, and what a way to get your first win for the Portland Thorns. It took 5 games, but a big victory today over the North Carolina Courage.
They're probably thinking, why did we need a win in the first round? We got the win that matters. We're going to be in the semifinals, and they're looking ahead.
Portland now will await to see who the winner of tonight is between Houston and Utah. And then, of course, we have games tomorrow here in the quarterfinals. Semis, we will be at Rio Tinto, as well as for the final. Another great night ahead tonight in a game that saw 6 goals the first time Houston and Utah met one another. But in this one, the Portland Thorns get the victory 1-0 over the North Carolina Courage. They send the Courage home as Portland moves on into the Challenge Cup semifinals. For our crew, Jen Cooper, I'm Josh Toll. We'll see you tonight right back here on Twitch.